All right, guys, as you can see, we got the laser steady working right there, and we've already got one cutting board done. Here's another one. And while that one's engraving, I thought, well, I'll go ahead and utilize this time to get a little done on the dozer. So we got the engine lift over here. We have a chain wrapped around there. I think that's going to be good, hopefully. I got my wife coming out. She's going to be my cameraman and also the person to call 911 if this thing goes bad. We got the 4 bolts off the bottom of the cowling, and now all we have is this bolt here. I might have to loosen that one up, I'm not sure, but we need to pull that one, and then the same thing over on this side, the same bracket. We have 1 bolt, and we may have to loosen another, but this should be ready to come off. I have some tension on the chain, so at this time, we're gonna get busy on it. Here we go. All right, guys, here goes nothing. Got a nut on the inside. One down. Drop the nut inside. Go time. Or no time. All right, I think I see the problem. I think I'm gonna have to take these 2 bolts out here as well as the 2 bolts out over there. So let me find out what size they are. Be right back. That moved it. It's got a pin. All right, so there it is. That had a pin on the front of it that was holding that front onto it, even though it wasn't bolted up hard. All right, go around the other side. That was it. That was the only thing that was holding it. It's a pin on the front. Not actually a bolt. There's that pin right there. All right. So now we are definitely loose. There it is, boys. The cowling is off. Just picking up my nut and my washer that fell off from the inside here. We'll clean all that out and then we'll get all the bolts and stuff put back in the holes that they came out of. All right, guys, you can see all that stuff in there, leaves and grease and oil. It's probably 6 or 7 inches thick on the front there. It looks like a mouse nest up in the front. So, wow. Let's take a look at this. So the bottom plate is right there, and that's got to be, I don't know, 7, 8 inches of crud built up on the corners. So that's in the bottom of it. And now we'll walk over here and take a look at the front of this. There's that hydraulic pump, and the line comes over. It has some kind of a shield on it, I don't know why. But then the skid pan underneath there is just as full of crud. So I'm not sure what comes off next. We'll stand out here for a while and look at it. But I'm pretty sure it's going to be these runners on the side here. It's probably going to be the next thing that needs to come off. All right, guys, should look a little different again. There used to be a plate that bolted on right here, came up, went back down. The blade system bolted onto the bottom. The hydraulic ram that lifted the blade bolted onto the top. We'll go out front. I'll show you what that looked like. We got this side off fairly easily. The pin held it on up front, and there was a pin here with 2 bolts. The hydraulic valve was over top of it. As you can see, everything is wet, so the bolts came right out. Coming around to the other side was a whole different story. This side was absolutely dry. Same scenario, had a big pin that went in here and had a big pin went in here. That pin had to be welded to a bolt, which was welded to a nut. We had that bolt all the way through the pin with a nut on it. We had a big slide hammer. That's why we had that thread right there. We tore the threads off the nut 3 times. So we opted to weld that to the pin. And after heating the pin red hot, we were able to get that out. We had to drill the other 2 bolts out. So what we're working on currently is we're removing this bracket here that holds the rail system onto the bar, and we got the 3 bolts out. We got 1 bolt over here that's giving us some problems, and on the other side we did the same thing. So let's walk out front. We'll take a look at the big plates that are out there and the hood that is out there. So let's go do that now. All right, here we are. Here are those big plates. Oh, I also got the drive gears off as well as the sprocket covers. And then that's the front cowling. So here is the back pin that I was telling you about. This was on the right side, so this one came out fairly easy. There's that big pin that held in here, and then there is where the blade attached to this plate. I'll back up so you can kind of see what that is. Now we'll come around this side, and as you can see, we have the same scenario over here. We got the sprocket with that plate, and then there are the covers there. So let's go inside. We have a special guest here. Coworker John is here. He is hiding behind the camera as we walk, but I can show you his shadow. And we're headed back inside, and here is what we're working on currently. John is going to take the camera from me. As you can see, we got a 15/16 wrench, piece of 2-inch galvanized pipe, piece of 1.5-inch galvanized pipe, or aluminum actually. And we're using that as a cheater bar. The wrench does not fit in the 1.5 inch, even if we have it squeezed down. So we're putting it in the 2-inch. John's gonna take the camera, and here we go. Just click on it. But it'll go off in a little bit. And I mean, I'll probably do this. Oh, make her squeal, baby. That's that oil penetrating it, isn't it? Huh? Tell me, John, is it? Yeah. I'll make noises like you do. PB plaster.
I just want you to know that it's taking him a lot longer now that he's on camera.
So ultimately what we're gonna end up doing is we're gonna lift the dozer up and we're gonna slide that rail system out and off. And that's what we're aiming to do. Now let's go to the other side. We have a bolt over there that is not cooperating. For some reason, it just don't feel like it even fits that right. You know what I mean? Heads off.
No head.
No head, no head. All right, here we go. We found that there's 2 more bolts on the backside. And don't you know, he won't let you in there. Oh yes, we have no bananas. There's one out. See if we can get the other one to move. Here we go.
Any ideas? Comment below.
In theory, if we pull that bolt out and drop that jack, the front should fall down and we should be able to pull that whole side right off there. I'll trade you spots. And I'm not saying that this will get locked into the groove, but it could. So we'll put this over here. And now when we lower this, it should lower with me. Drum roll. All right, maybe that bolt didn't break off all the way.
It's leaning.
Lean.
You can see the top of her. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but you know what? That freaking bolt won't let it fall down, I bet.
The one on the side.
No, there's no bolt inside.
I thought you, did you get both of those out?
Yeah, we broke it off.
There's a stem.
But I'm saying it has to, look, the bolt is stuck up in the hole. So when it lowers, see how the bolt goes forward? That's probably what's gonna hang us up. Maybe we need to jump on it. Hey, that's all it took.
A little rednecking.
That's all it took. All right, nice crack in the concrete. So theoretically, now,
Pull the pin and out she comes.
actually I think I need to whack the rest of that, the bolt off so we have room. Or we have to raise this up so that the bolt itself clears. So let's try that. Take the camera down there and see if the bolt itself, see if it cleared the part.
Ooh, that's hot.
All right,
It looks like the bolt's clear.
okay, yeah, we're definitely clear now. All right, so now let's move some tools out of the way. All right, guys, thanks to the help of John, we were able to get this thing off. Next step I want to do is I'll probably heat this bolt that we cut the head off and see if I can't get that bolt out. This is actually one of the bolts that was stuck in that block. You can see we drilled it out, and then on the other end we actually melted it out, and then I had to squeeze it with pliers, and that was a pain in the nuts. So I'm sure this one's going to be just like that one. We're probably going to have to drill it and everything else. But we cut the head off. Now we were able to get this whole rail system off of this side. And if John can look underneath, we have blocking on the front of the dozer, and we have blocking on the, I'll call them the final drive. Right now we had that jacked up so we could clear the bolt as we pulled that out. But I'm going to set that down on them blocks here momentarily. And then that's how that'll stay until we get a little further.
Go ahead and lower it down now.
All right, here we go. Lower it down.
Solid.
And honey, we're home. So on this side we had one bolt that was stuck, and on this side we have two bolts, and unfortunately they are great big bolts that are into the back. One bolt is right here and the other bolt is right here. We need to get those two bolts out. I just have I think it's a Cobalt 1/2 inch impact wrench, and I know that they make impact wrenches out there that have a lot more horsepower, a lot more torque. So we will spray these up with some lube. I don't have a penetrating oil, I literally just have lube. And then we'll let them sit overnight and we'll work on this. But that's a major accomplishment there, getting that rail system off. Now I'll tell you what I'm going to do while John has his camera on. We will throw a couple of blocks on the side here, and I am not guaranteeing this.
I don't know if I can lift it with one
Well,
hand.
I want to tilt it.
Ready?
Yeah, 3, 2, 1. There you go. All right, so now we'll put two more blocks under it, and I got to take this bolt out first. And I know if I put it somewhere, I won't remember where it goes. I don't know if we can do this, John, but I want to see how much wear we actually have on the bottom. So I'm going to step in front of your camera and
Flip it again.
yeah, flip it again. 3, 2, watch your toes. 1.
Oh, I need two hands.
Okay, let's put the camera on the table. That's a tripod.
Here, you position it.
Okay. Yep, I think I got it. Now just watch your toes. 3, 2, 1. Woo. There we go. Boy, if I didn't bust my concrete there, I'll never bust it. So yeah, there you can see what kind of wear we have. We have a lot of wear right here. We have a little bit of wear right here. And I really didn't look at it front to back. That didn't look real bad. But yeah, not bad. Like I say, just got a lot of wear here. So we'll address that when we get to it. I see that these bottom pieces are bolted onto the top rail. So next thing is to get these out of here, or to get this one. I'll probably let it sit until I get the other one off, and then we'll put them out in the back building to get them out of the way. John Deere 350. It's a 1974, so it's 50 years old this year. Man, we're just going to tear her down, put her right back the way she was, hopefully when she was new. As I said in past videos, I don't want to put lipstick on a pig. Got a couple friends that said, yeah, just put a paint job on it and sell it, get it out of there. But again, my OCD doesn't allow me to do that. I need to finish the job. So I'm not sure what we got next. I do know that we want to take that rail system off, and I wish I knew proper terminology. but I want to take the rail system off on the other side. And then I think it's a matter of a couple of bolts on the front and a couple of bolts on the back, and then frame rails will come off. And that should leave the engine and the transmission. The final drives are bolted in, and I believe they will come out as a unit. I'm not sure about that, but I'm hoping that this whole final drive unit comes out. And if that's the case, then we'll be able to access this a lot better. I don't want to be working down in that little hole trying to get nuts off and bolts off, because they do look like they had lube on them. And I'm not sure what we got going on here. I'm thinking that this acts as a brake as well as clutch linkage. And I'm thinking that this is brake fluid or maybe hydraulic fluid that works as a brake. But of course, when you pull your clutch handle, it compresses into here and moves this back here. I don't think, I won't be able to move it by hand. But this moves your clutch linkage, and I think that puts brake pressure on there. I'm not sure how it works. I don't have a manual for this thing yet. I want to get a parts breakdown of the machine. Right now, all I have is a service manual, and the service manual really doesn't go into detail on the stuff that I'm getting into now. The exploded views will have more of a detail on how this comes apart, what's in there, and that's how I can figure out what's in there. So, making good progress. Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you, John, for helping me get that off and running the camera. John's going to come over every Thursday and give me a hand. That's according to his schedule as well as my schedule. So that'll be a big help for cameraman and extra hands. And with that, we'll see you guys next week.